Next on All Access.
Well, Sunday, come Sunday, how strange is it going to be, Chase, to play with no fans?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting and lonely experience, not having my family or the fans.
It was Tuesday. I was working on our preparations for Carolina, getting ready for the quarterback meetings.
I was getting treatment on my knee.
Hearing a small plane hitting the Twin Towers.
And I thought, oh my goodness, my wife, my sweetheart, went to New York on the 7 o'clock shuttle.
Hi, I'm from Rhode Island. My name is Jacob.
Welcome to the first ever Optum Little Heroes Media Day. Optum created this opportunity for children of local healthcare heroes.
Who are you excited to beat this year?
Cam Newton, he's your starter. What has he shown you in those 3 condensed weeks at camp and to be named the starter?
I think he's earned everyone's respect in a very short amount of time.
A truncated preseason is over. And after more than a month of training camp, the regular season starts Sunday. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Patriots All Access, presented by GEICO. I'm Steve Burton, and we're thrilled to be back for a 24th year of All Access. After a long 6 months that included player movement, COVID-19 protocols, and general uncertainty, the New England Patriots will kick off their 61st season when they host the Miami Dolphins here at Gillette Stadium with no fans in attendance. For a sneak peek at the new-look 2020 Patriots, here's Dan Roach.
2020 training camp was different. No joint practices, no preseason games. Yes, it's simply on to the opener.
We've come a long way. I'm glad, the NFL, the organization, all the people who put in the groundwork to allow us to have this season. And being so close at this point right now, fingers crossed we're here, and hopefully we can keep it continuing.
Bill Belichick made sure his team used its practice time wisely to fully prepare for Sunday.
One thing we all have in common in the NFL is time. It's all about what we do with that time, and I say our coaches put us in the best position possible to be prepared for the first week.
There are many new faces in Foxborough, with the biggest change coming at quarterback as former MVP Cam Newton steps in.
It's an ongoing process to feel comfortable in this offense. And, for me, it's not about this, it's not about that. It's just executing and playing at a level that's premium and setting that bar, as people would say, the Patriot way.
He throws to the back of the end zone, caught by Gesicki. What a try. Touchdown, Miami.
The Miami Dolphins come to town for the opener, a team that cost the Pats a first-round bye last season by beating them here in Week 17.
It was definitely not a good taste in our mouth. The past is past, but we do remember it, and definitely looking forward to playing on the Miami Dolphins.
Meanwhile, perhaps the strangest part of Sunday's opener, no 65,000 Pats fans in the stands.
There's just something about it that makes you feel like you're, having this experience together, fans and players included. So, we're going to miss them. We're going to have to find ways to go out and be hyper-focused and bring our own juice. And I think the way that you do that is just keeping the right perspective. Look, we're blessed to be doing what we're doing.
When Cam Newton takes to the field on Sunday as the Patriots starting quarterback, he'll be the first non-homegrown talent to start at the quarterback position for the New England Patriots since 1993. That guy back then, quarterback Scott Secules. For Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Roachy, thank you very much. I'm joined now by Mike Reiss and Paul Perillo in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios. And it's time now for our panel discussion. Good to see you guys.
Good to see Mike.
It is good to see Mike.
I feel like all is right. We're back together again. We got football. Feels like the way it should be.
Which is a good thing. Cam Newton. If I were to tell you 3 months ago that Cam Newton would be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots, would you guys think I was crazy?
You're going to tell me I'm going to do this show without Mike and Cam Newton's going to be here. No way. No way. I would have balked at that. Absolutely didn't see it coming, and I just didn't see the salary kind of stuff working out, Mike. Obviously, there was a need for the Patriots, and we saw that, and there was a need for Cam Newton. I just didn't think he would take such a team-friendly deal.
And let's be honest, all offseason, I mean, I'm out there front and center saying, Jarrett Stidham. You know, like they believe in Jarrett Stidham. They're excited about what he put out, you know, his rookie year, and that they're ready to go forward into this season, most likely with him, and try to surround him and bring him along like they did Tom Brady in 2001 when he was a young quarterback. Like, what a turn, like out of nowhere to go to Cam Newton.
Does the offense change now that Cam Newton is running the show?
I mean, I think it has to, at least to some degree. Certainly what Mike and I got a chance to watch during the summer, there was definitely some more mobility with the quarterback and some running plays involving Cam Newton. I think it'd be foolish to not take advantage of that skill set. He's so big and powerful, not like the Lamar Jackson kind of runner. He's a power runner at that position, and I think you have to at least incorporate some elements of that into your offense.
I feel like it's been so fascinating to listen to Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, talk this whole process through, and basically what he says is like the offense is the offense, but within that you sort of tailor certain things to the strengths of each player and obviously your quarterback in Cam Newton. And what is one of his greatest strengths at 6'5", 245 pounds?
Tough to tackle,
tough to tackle, good runner. So we're going to see more of that, plays that you would have never seen called with Tom Brady at quarterback.
3rd and 2, right? Design run. You know, we're just going to give him the ball in the shotgun, let him pick his hole and plow forward, see if he can break through, you know, a linebacker and get the first down. Stuff that you could never ask Tom Brady to do. As great as Brady was, you know, he's going to throw the ball in that situation, you know, 99 times out of 100. I think with Cam Newton, it gives you some different options.
And I just add this. Hope he stays healthy in doing that, because that's a big question.
Well, we all like the energy that Newton brings to this team. Were you guys surprised he was named captain?
You know, and I think that was a big part of it, but I do think that's part of the position. I think that you look around the league and quarterbacks are going to be captains. I think it's part of that position. I think you need to be a leader. They're not all the same. I think some guys are loud and vocal. Other guys do it by example. We've seen on the practice field, Steve, this guy is pretty loud and vocal. He's, you know, the energy is infectious. We all talked about that. Mike and I wrote about it all summer, just like everybody else did. But to see the teammates, the way they responded to it, to me, I'm not overly surprised that he's a captain, and I think based on the way I saw the team sort of respond to it, I think it was a good move.
I was surprised only in that in 21 years of Bill Belichick as coach, like there's not a comparable situation of a player coming in literally like 2 months prior and being named a captain. Rodney Harrison, 2003, is the closest that you get to, where he signed, he had a whole offseason with the team, and then Lawyer Malloy got released, so there were some circumstances there to elevate him up, right? Algie Crumpler, 2010, a veteran tight end, wasn't initially a captain, but they didn't have as many captains that year. They elevated him up later in the year. But there's no comparable to say, oh, the guy just showed up 2 months ago. He's one of our 8 captains.
We will see how he does. Guys, don't go far. We're going to catch up to you a little later on in the show.
All right.
Good to see you. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Coming up on All Access.
A remembrance of one of the darkest days in our nation's history. Pretty soon, you're not like watching Carolina. It was just, you know, totally consumed by the events of that morning. A morning, you know, unlike any other.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots. By Gillette Pro Glide and Pro Glide Gel, 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke. And by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off.
I'm Lauren Spencer with the Patriots social media update heading into Week 1. Julian Edelman set the tone on Instagram this week with that football starts this week feeling. I think Patriots Nation can certainly relate. Before players locked in for the season, they took advantage of some last-minute family time.
20 million years ago, the duck-billed dinosaur you see is
The Gilmore and McCourty families traveled back in time last weekend at the Jurassic Quest drive-through dinosaur exhibit right here at Gillette Stadium. But, as Stephon Gilmore recently reminded us on his Instagram account, the offseason is in the past and we're on to the future. You can see some of his past accolades depicted in the foreground, but a new season starts Sunday, and right now, that's all that matters. We'll be bringing you all the game day coverage this weekend, so be sure to follow along on @Patriots, and we'll be back next week with another social media update.
We've all seen plenty of Patriots press conferences. Here's one that is unique. Thanks to our friends at Optum, we now present Optum Little Heroes Media Day, where Optum healthcare workers' children get the opportunity to ask the tough questions.
What does it take for Coach Bill to smile?
Welcome to the first ever Optum Little Heroes Media Day. In effort to thank frontline healthcare workers, Optum, an official sponsor of the New England Patriots, created this opportunity for children of local healthcare heroes. Kids submitted videos for a special chance to interview Matthew Slater and Joe Tooney.
Hi, I'm from Rhode Island. My name is Jacob. My mom is a practitioner.
Hi, my name is Mahika and I'm 12 years old. My mom works in Optum as a QA developer.
My name is Brady Charles and I'm 8 years old.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. You guys look great.
I have to make sure you're part of the official meeting. Can you hold up your media badges? All right, we all got badges. Our first question is going to come from Jacob in Wakefield. Go ahead, Jacob.
Who are you excited to beat this year? Most potential.
Yeah, we're really focusing on just trying to improve as a team right now together. It's a big process, a long season, and right now it's just focused on how we can get better to begin the season.
I heard your mom is a health hero. What does she do?
She's a nurse practitioner.
Mahika, go ahead.
If you could tell your childhood self anything at all right now, what would it be?
Great questions. I would tell my childhood self not to sweat the small things.
What does it take for Coach Bill to smile?
That's a tough one there. That's a tough one. To get Coach to smile, I think us working hard day to day, trying to go out and execute and do the things that we're coached to do at a high level with consistency, I think that brings a smile to his face.
What does it feel like to win a Super Bowl?
It's really hard to describe, but it is, it's just a very great feeling, and it's very fulfilling.
Who is the funniest player on the team?
I think Isaiah Wynn, our left tackle, is pretty funny.
I think the McCourty twins are very funny as well.
Do you guys play any sports yourselves?
I play soccer and basketball and cheer.
Very cool.
Nice.
I play soccer and frisbee with my friends.
Very cool. Nice.
We do swimming lessons.
Nice.
There you go.
What is Coach Bill's favorite candy?
I've never seen Coach eat any candy.
What's your guys' favorite candy?
Chocolate.
I like chocolate a lot too.
Now, Abby, Alex, you have a healthcare hero at home?
My mom, she's a nurse practitioner.
Wow, you must be so proud of her.
And also my favorite candy is Skittles.
Really appreciate you guys taking that time. I know Joseph and I enjoyed spending time with you guys, but I hope that you guys understand that what we do pales in comparison to what your moms and dads do. They are the real heroes. And please tell them that Joseph and I appreciate all that they're doing for us right now. We really, really are so thankful. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. I'm joined now by Patriots defensive end Chase Winovich. Chase, it's good to see you on the show, my friend. How you doing?
Thank you. It's great to be seen. I'm doing well.
Now that you're in your second season, how much more comfortable are you than you were in your first season? I know there's been no OTAs, no preseason games, but how much more comfortable are you?
Overall, I'd say I'm much more comfortable just in terms of being familiar of everything and what to expect. And that has really allowed me to expand myself and really push myself in other areas of my game, which, I'm not going to be specific about those areas that I was focusing on. But yes, so it's been a great experience, and I'm just really trying to keep getting better every day and try to stack up as many good days as possible.
Well, come Sunday, how strange is it going to be, Chase, to play with no fans?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting and lonely experience, not having my family or the fans. But at the same time, I have a job to do. My team has their own jobs to do individually, and we're just going to go out there and try to execute those assignments as best as we can. Doesn't matter, as Coach Belichick says, rain, sleet, snow, doesn't make a difference. There's a football game, and we have a job to do. So, going to miss the fans, surely, and going to miss my family. But this is just, a timeout. This is just a temporary thing, hopefully. And, hopefully we can get back to a real sense of normalcy and allowing fans to come back in the game sooner than later.
How excited, last question, how excited are you to play against another team for once instead of always going up against yourselves?
I'm really excited to play against another team. It's always nice playing against other people because there's a weird dynamic in practice when there's a tempo change when you're working with your own teammates versus when you're working with other people. You really got to be smart playing football against your own teammates. You don't want to tackle them and slam them to the ground. You don't want to, if you're picking on certain pass rushing concepts, you got to be careful. It definitely adds a little bit of complications to it. And I dropped my microphone.
That's okay.
I don't know if you guys got that part.
We did. We got it.
Did you guys get that?
Yeah, we're getting that, and your muscle too. All right, Chase, thank you very much. Chase Winovich, our guest. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this. Welcome back to Patriots All Access. It's now time to talk to Coach Belichick here as he gets ready for week one. And first question for you, Coach. Your team's had a lot of work they've had to condense in the last 3 to 4 weeks. No OTAs, no minicamp, camp is condensed. How proud are you of the response of your team and how they've had to sort of speed things up here through the last 4 weeks?
Yeah, Scott, I think they've done a really good job. These guys are they've been very focused and disciplined to, do the right things and come to work every day, being ready to go, really taking care of their business in a very professional manner. And, they've really been good to work with, as has our staff. Everybody's really responded to the challenges that we've had and just try to make the most of it, and we're making a lot of progress.
First time in several years you've had 3 quarterbacks on your roster opening day. You've done this before. 2 of the guys you know pretty well. They've been in your system before, but the new guy, Cam Newton, he's your starter. What has he shown you in those 3 condensed weeks of camp and to be named the starter?
Well, Cam's the most experienced of the 3, just not in our system, but he's played a lot of football and played a lot of good football. He's a very talented player. Has worked hard to pick things up here. This is a little different than some things that he did at Carolina, most recently under Norv. But he's an experienced player that's, over the course of his career, done a lot of different things, and I don't think there are too many plays that he hasn't run in over the course of his time at some point. So really it's just kind of getting to know him and getting a feel for what he's comfortable with, and I think he's earned everyone's respect in a very short amount of time.
All right, I know you got a lot of new faces on that linebacking core, and you like to be multiple. I know you change things in and out, whether it's sub formations, whether you're going to go big up front. Is some of the matter with some of the young guys that you have? It's just, hey, we got to see what these guys can do week one. We haven't had preseason, and we just might have to throw some of these guys in there and get their feet wet.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that, Scott. We're gonna play some players that might have experience in the system but haven't had a lot of playing time here. We'll just have to see how that goes. But I do think we have a pretty versatile group, and I think we can match up against some different offensive formations and play concepts and so forth that we're going to see. So we'll see how all that comes out.
We'll have more of our conversation with Coach Belichick in advance of the home opener later in the show.
Coming up on All Access.
What's the vibe in Miami about the Patriots?
You always knew where Brady was going to be, but you don't know where Cam Newton is going to be. He's going to have to design a defense while looking at a lot of film from the Carolina Panthers.
But next, we remember 9/11.
To find out that one of my brothers, Jimmy, was one of the first responders into Tower 1.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New England Patriots. By the Dan O'Brien Auto Group. Come in to any Dan O'Brien Auto Group store today and get your awesome protection plan, keeping it awesome. And by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots.
The history of number 24 goes all the way back to the franchise's inception back in 1960. 22 players in all wore number 24. The number is most frequently associated with Hall of Fame cornerback Ty Law. The lineage at that position and with that number is strong, as future Hall of Famer Darrelle Revis wore it in his one season with New England. Not to be outdone is current Defensive Player of the Year Stephon Gilmore. 12 defensive backs have worn the number, the highest amount at one position. The next popular is running back, where 8 players wore number 24, highlighted by Robert Weathers, who helped the Patriots on their way to the franchise's first Super Bowl appearance in 1985.
The Patriots are indeed the champions of the American Football Conference of the National Football League.
This profile is brought to you by Pepsi.
Welcome back to All Access, presented by GEICO. It's hard to believe, but we must never forget that 19 years ago, our nation experienced one of the worst single days in our history. As we remember 9/11, we go into the vault and look back at this horrific day through the lens of the New England Patriots and how the NFL and the real world intersected. And a warning, some of the images you are about to see may be disturbing.
The World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers.
Something started to fire with some explosion at the Pentagon.
That looks like a second plane.
Oh my God.
I was getting treatment on my knee in the training room.
It was Tuesday. I was working on our preparations for Carolina, getting ready for the quarterback meetings.
Remember, it was a Tuesday morning. I was getting in my car and I was driving into the stadium, as a matter of fact.
I was actually filming a Papa Gino's commercial, of all things.
Sitting there in a dentist chair, listening to the radio and then hearing a small plane hitting the Twin Towers.
I was watching the news and saw the plane, the visual of the plane going into the building and the smoke.
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building, and there's been another collision.
And I thought, oh my goodness, my wife, my sweetheart, went to New York on the 7 o'clock shuttle.
Most of the people working on the set were from New York, and so when this happened, they were all on phones back trying to check on their loved ones and all of that. And I remember, obviously, everything stopped.
I was living in Franklin at the time. I had 2 roommates, Chris Eitzman and Dave Nugent. I turned my car around halfway to the stadium on Route 140 and drove home. We turned on the TV.
So I had the TV on one screen and watching the video on the other screen, trying to, work on the Carolina preparations. And pretty soon, you're not even watching Carolina. It was just, totally consumed by the events of that morning. a morning, unlike any other.
I left that dentist's office and just started making phone calls, and nothing was working. Busy signals, all types of warnings. I couldn't reach anybody in my family that is down there in the New York area. Knowing that my three brothers that are New York City firemen are there, to find out that one of my brothers, Jimmy, was one of the first responders into Tower 1. And Tower 2 got hit second but fell first, to turn around now and was running out with the building falling behind him. After sitting in front of the TV all day and waiting, and my father telling me that everybody was safe in my family, but knowing that many others weren't safe, and it was tough to think about.
I spent a lot of time speaking with Commissioner Tagliabue and supported the decision not to play at that point in time.
Got on a conference call with the NFLPA, and where all the players were unanimous that we needed a little bit of time for America to sort of mourn and sort of digest the entire situation. So not playing that first week, I think, was the right decision, and we all agreed upon it.
Once the NFL had canceled that weekend, I had jumped in the car because they opened up the bridges and tunnels, the only way to get home to Staten Island. And then getting to my parents' house, and my brother walking in the house, and no words were needed to be said. He gave me 2 fingers close together, just like this, and just gave him a great big hug.
We had a personal attachment as a team to 9/11 through Joe and his family.
Running out there with the American flags in his hand and running full speed, and his brothers out there in their, they're firemen in New York and wearing their fireman gear. And
just proud that Joe was a part of our team, and that we could share with his family this sort of celebration that, we're still standing. We're all still standing here.
When people up in New England can cheer for New Yorkers, that's pretty unique. Doesn't happen too much, but that was part of the thrill of seeing the Andruzzi's Joe coming out with those flags.
It was a spur of the moment thing, but also going out there and joining my brothers at midfield and giving them a great big hug. They stood for a lot out there on that 50-yard line, and when they raised those helmets up, you could see the chills in the air.
That weekend was our symbol of our strength and how that we were still here and playing football, and proud to be doing it.
Opening day of the 1994 season was a shootout in South Florida as Drew Bledsoe faced off against Dan Marino.
Bledsoe back, throws, end zone, touchdown, Ben Coates!
Bledsoe threw for 421 yards and 4 touchdowns, including 2 to Ben Coates. But Marino and the Dolphins would win this round. Marino threw for 473 yards and 5 touchdowns, including 3 to former Patriot Irving Fryer.
Back to throw, Marino looks, shoots it, fires, 25-20, he's going to go all the way, Irving Fryer.
As Miami outscored New England 39-35.
Time now for our opponent spotlight, brought to you by GEICO. I'm Megan O'Brien, and I'm joined by the play-by-play announcer from the Miami Dolphins, Jimmy Cephalo. Jimmy, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thanks for having me, Megan. Good to talk to you.
The biggest change for the Patriots and the new quarterback will be Cam Newton. What type of threat does he present to the Miami Dolphins defense, given that he's a mobile quarterback?
Well, I think that's the different part of it. You know where Brady was going to be at all times. He was going to be 7 steps behind the center, who, by the way, for the Dolphins will be Ted Karras. It will not be for the Patriots. We've got a bunch of Patriots who are playing in aqua and orange come Sunday. But I think that's the biggest difference. You always knew where Brady was going to be, but you don't know where Cam Newton is going to be. And so Brian Flores, another former Patriot, our head coach here in Miami, who's done a spectacular job, is going to have to design a defense while looking at a lot of film from the Carolina Panthers. I think that's the biggest difference.
And you mentioned all of those Patriots. We actually call Miami Foxborough South, just given all of those connections. You brought up Ted Karras, the captain, Elandon Roberts, the linebackers also there, along with Kyle Van Noy. What difference have they made to the Miami locker room?
Well, I think it's probably leadership in that sense, isn't it? This is a very young football team. The Dolphins are quite young. But when you throw in that kind of experience, and not just experience, but championship experience, it has to rub off on young players. So I think you combine the former Patriots with people like Ryan Fitzpatrick, who've seen it all, and you got a football team that's young, yet has enough leadership to be able to have a good season.
Thank you so much for your time, Jimmy. Best of luck to you on Sunday.
Thanks, Megan. Good to talk to you.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. We rejoin our conversation here with Coach Belichick. You know, one of the things with week one is the unpredictability of a team coming in. Is this times 100 for you in unpredictability?
You know, some of the film we're looking at are, guys that they signed in the offseason from other teams. And then some of the film really is college film of their draft choices. Look, everybody's in the same boat on that. And that's, what college football is and has always been. Same thing with high school football. You come out and you start practicing, and then after 3 or 4 weeks you start playing. There's no preseason games, and in those at that level.
I know from the defensive side you're not a big fan of plays of 20 yards or more. That's an obvious statement, but from a special teams perspective, you guys haven't done a lot of tackling. Are you concerned with that?
I think just overall there are a lot of things that are kind of unknown at this point. There hasn't been a lot of tackling. There hasn't been a lot of running. There hasn't been a lot of, hitting the quarterback and wrapping the quarterback up in the pocket. And there hasn't been a lot of situational football. But it's just not the same as, going through that drill in a real situation like you would do in a preseason scrimmage with another team. Certainly the early part of the season for everybody will really have to focus on improvement and learning from our experiences in the games and then applying that to future opportunities.
All right, Coach, time now for the Twitter question of the week, and it comes from @Smurley68. Once they ask you about coaching players and the dynamic of coaching a player 20 to 25 years ago as to today's current player, how much has that changed over the years for you?
Well, I think we've seen the attitudes of and the characteristics of different generations change over the years. It's probably reflected in football players just like it is in general society. But I think the fundamentals come back to if a player feels like a coach is helping him, then he'll listen to him and he'll try to take the instruction and improve. If for whatever reason the player doesn't have confidence in the coach or the system and kind of tunes it out and just does it his way, then I'd say there's a limited, amount of improvement that's going to come. So players want to learn, players want to get better, players want to improve. Coaches want to help players do that. So that's a dynamic that is always, crucial to the development of any individual player or team. But fundamentally, it's the same. It's coaches are teachers and players are students, and ultimately we work together to try to put the best product we can on the field on game day.
The music's probably changed a little bit during the stride and stretch periods, right?
A little bit.
20 years ago.
A little bit.
All right, Coach, great answer right there. Hey, If you want to ask Coach a question, follow the team on Twitter, @Patriots, hashtag it AskBB. Coach, good luck week 1 against the Dolphins. Can't wait to tee this thing up.
Yeah, appreciate it, Scott. Thank you.
All right, here we are in the new normal. Thanks for watching. Coach Belichick here. More Patriots All Access will return right after this.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New England Patriots. And by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots. Proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios with Mike Reiss and Paul Perillo. Good to see you guys again. Hey, fans have been spoiled. Over the last 20 years, it's been Super Bowl or bust, AFC Championship or bust. High expectations. What are the expectations this year?
Yeah, it is an interesting way. I don't think it should be Super Bowl or bust. I think, we've been rightly spoiled in thinking that way for so long, but there's just been so much turnover, Mike. And obviously you lose Brady, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much personnel change from last year to this year. I think to ask for Super Bowl or bust, I think is asking way too much.
Well, I do think it's asking a lot, but I actually would say don't lower those expectations. I mean, who had Tennessee at this point last year in the AFC title game? To me, a lot of things are going to have to go right for this team because I don't think, when you look at it now, it's on par with Kansas City or on par with Baltimore. But I see a team like Tennessee or even San Francisco on the other side in the NFC last year at this time. Were people saying Super Bowl or bust for those teams? No. To me, you build it up, and if a lot of things go right for them, I don't think it's unrealistic to have that in the conversation.
What can Patriots fans hang their hat on as far as good things when you're looking at this team?
Well, I think the one area that jumps out to me is the secondary, and cornerback in particular. I think it's as deep and talented a group. When you're looking at a guy like Jawan Williams, a second-round pick last year, is he 5th, Mike, on the depth chart? You have Gilmore, Jason McCourty, Jonathan Jones, J.C. Jackson. This is a really deep and talented group of cornerbacks. I think it allows Belichick to do some different things defensively, maybe cover up some other areas. You can play man, you can match up, play man, and do things like that. I don't think there's a team in the league that has a better group of corners.
We talked about Cam Newton earlier in the show, and to me, I'm going to go back to him on this question. I'm entering the season what reason do I have to get excited? He is so motivated to show what he can do, and to me, his presence has elevated the other guys around him.
He is really all in on Cam Newton, isn't he?
It's amazing.
The potential of it, Paul. The potential of it. And I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Right.
But I think the upside of it, to me, is really what's most compelling about this team.
I like his enthusiasm. Okay, things that concern you most.
I'll squash that now. Okay? Well, here's the thing, and I agree with everything he said about Cam Newton because we already know he's done it, Steve. He's done those things in this league. He's been an MVP. We know he can do it. Where's the help, Mike? How does he get all of this stuff done? How do we get all of these, exciting possibilities, and how do we maximize those? I think you're asking a lot of Cam Newton, and I don't know if there's enough help for him to do that.
So I'll play both sides here because in training camp we saw the running game look great at times, just absolutely gashing the Patriots defense. So maybe the help
against who though?
Maybe the help can come in the running game, but this is my concern, Steve. The front seven on defense.
Can they stop the running game?
Can they stop it? Right? So let's say the one thing that would concern me, the front seven.
Well, I'm about to start this prediction time. I love this time of the show. Go ahead. Let's go.
Never have we had less
Pats,
feel
Dolphins.
as to what's going to happen.
Game 1. Where are you going? They're 6.5-point favorites. You guys.
That seems a little big to me. The spread seems a little big with so much uncertainty. Now I know that the Patriots, are playing in Gillette Stadium, but it's not exactly the Gillette Stadium home. You're not going to have that crowd, and there's so much uncertainty. I think the Patriots find a way to win this game. I think the excitement of Newton is what I'm looking forward to steal Mike's excitement over there. But I don't think it's going to be easy. 23-19.
Yeah.
23-19.
A lot of field goals.
We're around the same mark. I'm going to go Patriots 24-20. It's not going to be easy. It might be ugly. They might be rotating a lot of players throughout the game. But in the end, they find a way to pull it out.
I would shake your hands, but social distancing? Way to go, guys. That'll do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access. To Mike Reiss and Paul Perillo, I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody. See you later.